When you open up Surfline, you see three main ratings that tell you pretty much everything you need to know about the conditions that day. The first thing is surf height, but we will actually ignore this metric as it's essentially a best guess by the team at Surfline. The elements you most want to pay attention to are swell, winds, and the tide. Surfline uses buoy and satellite data to get swell direction, swell height, and swell period. These measurements, however, are for deep water waves. The swell height is the average size of the top 1/3 of waves rolling through the buoy system over a given period of time, usually 20 to 30 minutes, measured from crest to trough. Another calculation to arrive at essentially the same number for swell height is the modern or spectral definition of swell height, which is 4 times the standard deviation of the ocean surface elevation. However, the first calculation is much easier to conceptualize, so let's go with that one. Next, we have the swell period. This is the time interval in seconds between successive wave crests. A longer period swell carries more energy, as this is a sign waves have clumped together, leaving more room in between crests. These waves are often more uniform and will increase in height more dramatically than, say, a short period swell of the same deep water height. So let's say you see a wave height on Surfline of HFS forecasted. You should expect to see many waves come in that are much smaller than HFS. Set waves that come through that are about 10 to 25% bigger than HFS, and the occasional rogue wave which rolls in about twice the size of HFS. The greater the swell period, the more rogue waves you can expect to see. Now keep in mind, this is the measurement for deep water swell. Once that deep water swell arrives on the shoreline in shallow water, the wave jacks up even further and creates the wave that you surf. Therefore, the height of the wave you're surfing will seem much larger than this HFS forecasted measurement. A few more comments on wave height. Waves have differing heights depending on what section of the wave you're on. On a wave like Desert Point, there are takeoff sections that can be, say, head high on one day, and by the time you get to the end section of the wave has grown to double or triple overhead. These waves are epic, but also quite terrifying. Additionally, if you want to sound cool among your fellow surfers, it's always important to underestimate the wave size when you come in. So if you're surfing on a day that's clearly double overhead, you come in and tell all your buddies it was 4 foot, and it'll make you sound like a legend. The following 2 sections on Surfline are winds and tide. The winds show the scale and direction, while the tides show how much water will be above the seafloor. In places with sketchy ocean floors, i.e. Indonesia, I'd suggest surfing most waves on the mid to high tide at first. Once you get familiar with the wave, then go barrel hunting on low tide. When looking at winds, too much wind in any direction is not a good sign, but if it's blowing hard, let's just hope that it's blowing offshore. Some advice if you want to use surf forecasting to your advantage. Every time you have good conditions at a certain spot, take a screenshot of your Surfline and save it. Once you put together 3 to 5 sessions with great conditions, analyze your screenshots to see the commonalities on each day. Some spots require just the right combination of swell size, direction, period, and tide, while others will work every day of the year. If you found the ideas in this video helpful, check out my website, thesurfcompanion.com, and I'll see you next time.